While I'm young, the only thing I have to lose is time. Regardless of anything happening, I will lose time. That's a constant. That's an inevitable.
Tagging out the mouse, we do the mouse down.
You know, I've never been the type to document things. I feel like it's because halfway through, I give up and I lose trust or belief in the process that what I'm trying to achieve is actually gonna happen. So addressing this belief, I want to be able to just document no matter what happens. Just record it, whether I have a setback, whether I actually achieve the goal. This all needs to be documented because in the end, it's all the process of a journey. You know, when you embark on a journey, you don't know where you're, like, you have this idea of what the end goal looks like, but I'm sure once I arrive there and actually take a look at what's around me, it's not gonna look like anything that I am currently imagine it to be. My goal is to just make sure that in every moment I capture how I'm feeling, how I might be envisioning things to be, and then once that reality actually sets in, I can look back on these and reflect on what I may have been right about, what I may have been wrong about.
Are you free? So say like a client comes in, do you ever get clients that's like, hey, I have this photo, I want to do it like this, like this is my vision. How do you like go like with your freestyle? And like how do you communicate that?
First showed me a picture. I asked him what they like about that picture. I asked him, what exactly in this picture do you guys like? And that's such an important factor because what if they just like the bottom? They hate everything else in their haircut. Hey guys got a client that came in like, show me your haircut. And next thing you know, he didn't even want a fade, right? He's like, oh, I just like how the top looks. And he gave me that same haircut. So my question is always, what do you like about this picture? Is there another picture that you can pull up to show me as well of what you like? Get a little more insight about what he likes, and then also throw my own twist into how the hair reacts.
I would genuinely ask myself, why go to these classes? Why, if I already have the technical skill set to do a price raise, why would I spend the extra money to go to one of these classes? And I think my answer would revolve around anybody can just pick up a pair of scissors and charge money for cutting hair, right? But as far as why do you do it this way? Somebody might do it the same way as you, but they do it for a different reason. Attending this class, I was able to tune in and listen to Kevin's and Ben's. I was able to listen to their perspective on how they cut and why they cut, right? And so I think a lot of those pieces, bits and pieces, they're insightful because you're essentially gaining more and more knowledge on this overarching topic, which is cutting hair. And so I think that was a big takeaway as well, is that somebody might do it the same way as you do, but they do it for a different reason. And so I think that the more reasons that you can grasp, just getting insight from anybody, the more knowledge you acquire and the more depth that your knowledge has.
The type of steez they got, right? I feel like when they come in, you know, how they rock their clothes, what they do on a daily basis, you know, how they really rock everything. I think that's the most important thing because you're not going to give somebody that's in a professional setting like Ted a crazy ass cut unless they really want it. I feel like it's more like a professional look, maybe comb over, maybe a quiff going up. I just want to give something so crazy, knowing the fact they might have good ass hair, right? Suitability is very key, and I think sensibility, understanding and feeling the hair.
So one styling method I use during this haircut is definitely something more visual. What I'd like to do is I actually like to look at the hairs visually and see what pieces I like. I actually started to pick out pieces, and that made it my own personal style.
You aren't just paying to learn technical skills. You're doing it for an aspect of community, you're doing it for an aspect of inspiration, you're doing it for an aspect of your goal is to develop yourself. I think the same thing happens with education, right? Inherently, you don't need a degree to develop a skill on your own. If you have the self-discipline to push forward and learn by yourself, then you're more than welcome to do that. But under what parameters are you putting yourself in to surround yourself with people that will not only challenge you, but ask you why, right? Give you some perspective and some conversation to kind of bounce off of. Because if you're stuck in your own sort of world and realm of thoughts and ideas, you might be missing something.
You know, sometimes you have to start off where it sucks, right? Sometimes it's just redirection that you need, right? You're fit for the job. Sometimes you just need to be in a different location. That's all it is. You just need to be redirected. If you're showing up for yourself, you're taking classes, and you're willing to put in a lot of effort, you're driving from like 20 miles a day just to go to work and then 20 miles back, like you're the right person for the job, you're just not at the right place to where that effort should be shown. Your decision on not giving up is what truly tests you on how much you really wanted it. You know, as me and Oscar were folding the laundry, it was like January of 2023. The year just started, and that's usually like the slow months. Me and Oscar were like super slow. Like there's a video of me like recording Oscar him asleep on the couch. And as we're folding the laundry, I'm like, bro, I don't know how long I can keep doing this. And he was like, nah, bro, this is a true test on like if you really want to be a barber. There's gonna be like these super slow months, super slow weeks. But if you were able to thug it out and just continue on like progressing on your career, like we're gonna like do it. Like remember, there's like a lot of barbers that quit at this stage.
Everybody says enjoy the journey, but I think essentially what they're trying to say is that when you are trying to reach a goal and you are extremely excited, extremely motivated, and you just are impatient and can't wait to reach this result that you have been grinding for, at the core of his message, it's trying to say that you need to cherish the moments that you have now, because what is going to happen is that once you reach that result, your life is going to look different. These moments aren't going to last. You won't have these moments like this anymore. Slow days and, you know, pushing to be hungry and desperate for people to book you if you're a barber. I think reaching the end result, when you rush that, once you actually get to the end result and understand the amount of work that you have to put in to actually get this result, by the time you get there, you're wishing for the slow days again. You're wishing that you had more time for yourself, or more time to spend with family, friends, or the people that you used to grow up with. By no means am I saying that I've made it, but I feel like I've done enough reps to where I can say I actually there's remnants of my old lifestyle that I miss. I miss being as free as I was, because the truth is that my schedule is not as flexible as it used to be. I have, you know, people that I need to attend to. I work a certain amount of hours a week that I have to work. It's a non-negotiable at this point. But before, I could negotiate with myself and say, hey, if I want to take this day off, I can take this day off. Now, I can't really do that. And so, I think today is the first slow day that I've had for the whole month. And I'm kind of just sitting here and taking it in. And, you know, I'm grateful because I get to now reflect on how busy I've been able to get.
What type of styling method did you use on a brushback comb over that you did today?
So the styling method that I use on the brushback comb over, I use the Davines all-in-one milk just to moisturize the hair, and I use New Natural from Stephen J. I wanted to go for something that's a little bit more natural looking, nothing too structured. So I did blow dry the hair before just to get the product in, and for the finished look, I just used my hands and a loose style comb, and that was about it. Nothing too crazy, something nice, soft, and natural.
congruently moving towards an end goal, right? And so the end goal for us here is to make sure that we bring to San Diego a haircut education space for barbers. I don't think we have anything like that in San Diego. That's really doing it at a high level. I'm hoping that by the end of this quote-unquote journey, I will have been able to show face enough times where they can recognize the shop that I work at, the people that I work with, and that San Diego is a place where we can bring this haircut education space. And so that's my end goal with all this. I need to pick up this phone call.